So guys, why is self-confidence so important? Self-confidence can open doors. Self-confidence can make things happen faster. Self-confidence can help you get out of the hole you are right now. Can help people get unstuck. Self-confidence can really break the barriers and allow you to live the life you always envisioned for yourself, right? Let me give you an example. I became a executive very early in life. I started working when I was 11, and when I was 20, before turning 21 years old, I was already in charge of a business unit for a multinational corporation in São Paulo, Brazil. The corporation was based in the United States, and I was in charge of the business unit in Brazil, right? And when I got into that position, that business unit was failing, losing a lot of money, had only 2% of market share. Long story short, after working 2 years and a half as the head of that business unit, we went from 2% market share to 87% market share. And we became the third most profitable operation in the world. And we were in like 120 countries. And the Brazilian operation was the third most profitable in the world after only 2 years and a half, right? Customer satisfaction was up 97.5%. As I told you, market share 87% and very, very profitable. Okay. Then 2 years later, I started getting invitations to speak at several events about my management system, my management style, and my management ideas, right? What people called later, to make a joke with my name, Fabio, they called fabulous management style. And recently I published my first book in English called Fabulous Management Simplified. So you can check on Amazon, Fabulous Management Simplified. Well, anyway, so then I started my consulting firm in 1996, and I was only 25, turning 26 years old, right? And a management consultant with 25, 26 years old, at that time at least, was not very common. It was very, very, very rare, right? So I had a hard time convincing clients to hire me. If I was maybe an IT consultant, okay, technology consultant, all right, but management consultant with 26, 25 years old, they didn't know I had started working when I was 11. They didn't know I was already successful as an executive before. They didn't know all of that. So, and even after telling them all that, the majority of the clients were not really comfortable in hiring me. And there was this one specific client. They were at that time the leader in the satellite dishes in Brazil, right? And they were like, they had like 1,500 employees and 1,000 plus franchisees. And they wanted a consulting project that would last like 3 years, including, to begin with, 16 strategic presentations to the owners of the franchisees, right? To the franchisees owners and managing directors about how to achieve excellence in management, okay? Or how to achieve service excellence with management, one or the other. And they were talking with several consultants about that. I was one of them, right? I was the youngest of the consultants they were talking to. And I was managing to stopping them from hiring other consultants because I kept bringing new questions and new insights. So every time they talked to me, they felt like there's something more. Let's keep talking to Fabio. But they were not hiring me either. They were not hiring anybody else, but they were not hiring me either. And And that was going on for months, right? After 18 meetings, I finally sat down with the director I was talking to and said, listen, what is the problem? I came here already 18 times. And I know you appreciate our meetings because every time I call you, you schedule a meeting with me right away. You don't put any resistance. So apparently you are enjoying our conversations, right? So what is preventing you from hiring me to do the project? And he goes, can I be honest? I said, of course you owe me that after 18 meetings. He said, you're too young, Fabio. You're too young. So it's too risky for us to hire you to give the speeches and to lead the entire project, because if our franchisees, which by the way have age, are old enough to be your parent or your grandparent sometimes, if they don't like you, if they don't trust you are experienced enough, we're gonna have, of course, to redo everything, and that's gonna cost us a fortune. And then that's when my self-confidence played a very important role right there. I said, listen, please tell me, what is the safest way for you to try my services and to test me in front of your most critical and picky directors or franchise owners? So maybe we could do one presentation, just one. So my commitment with you would be just one presentation. And if it doesn't work out, then we don't move forward. But even though it's too risky, Fabio, I said, why is too risky? Because every time I have to put everybody together in a conference room, we're talking about 1997 here, right? Every time I have to put everybody together in a conference room, and I pay for air tickets, I pay for hotel accommodation for everybody, and it costs me around $500,000. Now let's say they don't like you, they don't approve you, I'm gonna have to redo the event. It's another $500,000. So we're talking about here about $1 million risk. So even though I know you after 18 meetings, I kind of believe in you, I know who you are, but I still think it is too risky for me to put out this event. Maybe they don't like you, and then I'm going to spend $1 million for nothing. Besides the frustration and maybe my professional image and so on. Then I said, okay, what if I can remove the risk from your part? What if I can assume the risk? I can take the risk. I said, what do you mean? We do the event, I deliver my presentation, and afterwards you assess, you survey them, and you ask them in a scale from 0 to 10, how prepared do they think I am to perform this entire project? And if they approve me, then you hire me for the entire project. If they do not approve me, then I'll pay you $1 million as a compensation for the trouble. He said, what do you mean? That's precisely what I told you. You allow me to do the first presentation. After presentation, you ask them what did they think about it. If they approve me, you hire me for the entire project, 3 years, all the presentations, all the consulting services, everything. Or if they do not approve me, then I pay you $1 million to compensate for the trouble, and you're never going to hear from me again. He said, wow, yeah, that would eliminate the risk, but are you willing to put that on paper? I said, of course, yes. Remember, I'm giving this example as an illustration of the power of self-confidence, right? I was already very confident about my capacity to deliver that project, because remember, 18 meetings getting to know the client, getting to know the situation. And of course, the reason I got in front of him the very first time was because I was referred to him as someone who really understood management and could really make wonders for his team and his business. So I knew what I was doing, and I knew that if I could eliminate the risk, so he would not have anything else to stop him from working with me. Of course, I asked like 30 days to prepare myself even further, and I asked him to come up with a very objective way to evaluate my approval. So I suggested. So as we were talking about excellence in management, from 0 to 10, excellence is usually from 9 to 10, right? He said, yeah, okay. So let's say I deliver my presentation, and after presentation, we asked them to give me grades from 0 to 10, evaluating how prepared I am to lead the entire project, right? So I need to get 9 or above as an average for you to hire me for the entire thing. If I get lower than 9 as the average, then I'll pay you $1 million. Does that sound fair? He said, yeah, but don't worry. So we set up a meeting with the lawyers. I didn't bring any lawyer, but he had like 3 lawyers. And when he saw me without the lawyer, he said, whoa, you didn't bring any lawyer? I said, are you acting in good faith? He said, of course, so I don't need a lawyer. If what we discussed is in writing, I have no problem signing this right now. All right, so we signed the thing, right? And I could see right there, just because of my offer, because of my suggestion, because of my willingness to sign right there with total confidence, his perception of value of me was higher and higher. Every time from that point on, when I suggested that I would take the risk on my back, right? And I would be willing to go through that experience through that evaluation process, I could see he was looking at me differently. He was respecting me more. He was perceiving more value. So, of course, during the 30 days I had to prepare, I visited many franchise stores. I talked to employees, I talked to managers, I talked to the owners, I talked to clients, to customers. I really gave a deep dive into understanding all the specifics of that operation. So I combined with my knowledge of management, and the day came, I delivered my presentation. 4 hours, like a strategic workshop. After those 4 hours, they had like the PC 286 in the corner of the room. I don't know if you remember that kind of computer. PC 286, XP 286. And they had an intern with a spreadsheet that was not Excel, was Lotus 123. Those of you that are older than 50 will remember that before Excel there was Lotus 123. So there was this intern with this Lotus 123 spreadsheet in a PC XP 286 computer and an old printer. And he was inputting all the grades that people were given in paper. He was inputting the grades. And then this director came to me and he said, "Are you ready for the result?" I said, "Of course I am." He said, "You better sit down." I said, "I'm fine standing up." I was confident because after 4 hours, you either know or you're completely clueless, right? I knew I had the audience. I knew they were convinced. I didn't know the grades, but I was feeling very good about myself because I gave my very best. I studied hard, I prepared myself, I was 100% confident I did a good job. So I was not concerned about the result anymore. I was so happy that I did my very best, and I did a wonderful job. So he was just playing with me because he said, okay, your average was 9.6. 9.6, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how I got my first big client at 26 years old, before completing 27 now, because it took a while, months, right? So it took months, and now I was 26, about to turn 27, and I got my first big consulting client because of my self-confidence. And I'm not telling you this to brag. I hope you understand this correctly. I'm telling you this to show you that your self-confidence can really open doors to you. After that bet, that was the $1 million bet, right? On myself, I was betting on myself, right? I was betting on me. I was believing in my capacity to do a good job. After that bet, that client not only hired me for the entire 3-year project, they sponsored my first book in Brazil. They sponsored not only the printing of the book, but the writing of the book, the launching of the book, everything. The cocktail party, everything. The invitation, every single detail. And not only that, they referred my name to giants like Microsoft, Banco do Brasil, which is the biggest bank in Brazil, Compaq, Citel, and other 3 or 4 major companies that because of their recommendation opened their doors to me, and I didn't have any other problems getting hired by major corporations after that. And after that, it's been like 26 years of very challenging, interesting projects, speaking, training, consulting, coaching, mentoring top executives from the best corporations in the planet, and learning a lot as well. 200 corporations have hired me so far. I have spoken to 165,000 executives and business owners and 3,600 presentations in 20 countries, accumulating 16,000 hours on stage. Again, not to brag, just to prove you everything happened because of the first element of magna influence, which is strong self-confidence. How strong is your confidence in yourself? How far are you willing to go to prove your value? By the way, I didn't have $1 million at that time. I didn't have $1 million at that time. But I was so confident that everything would work out fine that I was willing to bet. And I was willing to work for free for several years if I wasn't good enough. But I didn't take chances. I prepared myself. I studied hard. I did whatever I needed to do to be ready to face the challenge and to get the result I wanted. Everything you want in life will demand self-confidence from you. And I'm not saying I am super self-confident every single moment of my life. Several times I was not that confident, and that's why I didn't get what I wanted. But every time that I used my self-confidence, that I built my self-confidence, and I grew it to a point where it was kind of unbeatable self-confidence, I put myself in an emotional state that helped me get what I wanted. And you can do the same. If you like this video, please write your comment, like, share, help me spread the message. If you want to get in contact with me, the best way is through my Fabio360.com personal hub. Fabio, Fabio 360.com is the best way to connect with me in every social media, and of course navigate through my life in the internet. My name is Fabio Marques. I wish you health and wealth always. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.